going back to the police community, and I want to talk about that and the challenges that exist out there that police officers have to deal with, that the public has to deal with, that admin has to deal with, and some of the disconnects that exist for all of you, for all of us, I think. And the challenges and the frustrations that come along with that. And some of the questions that I have from the outside looking in are, I think they're very broad questions, like, why can't we get this together? Why can't people come together and find some agreement? And why can't we attack these problems at the root and fix them? And again, we could pick any number of things that exist out there, but you've been a cop long enough to have seen probably the circle come all the way around a couple of times, or the wheel come around full circle a couple of times. I wonder, in your career from where you started to where you are now, and the things that you've done, and obviously the other paths that you're taking, and I know this is a really big question, but what's the major thing that just challenges you the most as a cop, but also as a host who talks to other cops, who hears a lot of the similar stuff that's going on? That the challenges to me are almost all the same no matter where you go, right? No matter what agency, no matter what department it is, everybody has their unique situation. But I wonder for you, what's the thing that bothers you the most that you think could be solved? And I'm not saying it would be easy, but it's the thing that needs to be worked on. And it wouldn't be that tough to do if people just got focused on doing it.
Oh man, I would say it's what all the cops say is that when you handcuff my hands behind my back, I can't go out and enforce the law.
Okay.
There's sheriffs out there that will tell the public what they need to hear at times, and it's not pretty. And I always say this: police work is like wanting to see the police do their job is like wanting to see your sausage get made. Right? You sit at home, no one's breaking into your house, your kids go to school. Your life that you live is the way it is because essentially there's people out there enforcing the social contract theory, stating that no one can violate your rights, no one can detriment your health or steal from you, and blah, blah, blah. So with that, there has to be we have to be able to tell people it's not pretty sometimes. Police work is, when you apprehend a criminal, sometimes it looks awful. But that's how we've been doing it for 200 years, 250 years, and even longer. And now there's this I want to seal it that every Karen wants to have her opinion about how it doesn't take 8 people to put him in the back of a patrol car. Yeah, it does. Especially if we don't want to hurt him. Because if it's only 2 guys, guess what? That guy that's in a mental health crisis or in a drug schizophrenic state or, high, if we only have 2 of us to get to, which we will, it's our job to apprehend him, it's going to hurt him. As opposed to 8 people, we could safely apprehend him with causing him the minimal amount of harm. And I always say this too, everybody wants to give their opinion about how we did something. But if I flipped it and said, what if they did that to you? What if they did that to your daughter? What if that person stole this from you? Well, I'd want you to do something about it. And they wouldn't care how you did it because they're the victims.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's anybody else, they just want to have an opinion. And it's like anything else. Everybody's, got an opinion and they want to share it. And we used to just say that's awesome, but we're not going to listen to what you have to say when we do it, but that's clearly changed in the last 10 years.
Yeah. So the court of public opinion is a rough place. When I look at it from my outside looking in, and this is what drew me to talking with more police officers, is that what I found is, and I say this a lot on the show, so for people who listen to the show, they might, they go, dude, you say this all the time. And I say it all the time because I think it's true. And I think that that's part of the problem. And that is that the law enforcement in general, particularly the officers on the street to do the job that have to apprehend these people and protect and serve, the citizens of their communities, have a diminished First Amendment right. They're not supposed to talk about things. And when something comes out that looks awful, they're not supposed to say anything because already the optics are bad, right? So anything that gets said on top of that could make it worse. But there's also, if that's true, it also could be true that something being said could make it better. And that better is just a higher level of awareness of the people that have these, for the people that have these opinions. And you're certainly entitled to your opinion. It's fucking America. You can do and say whatever you want. It's a great part about living in this country. At the same time, when it starts impacting policy, and just going back to what you were saying about your hands are cuffed and you're not able to perform the job and do the things that need to be done in order to solve the problem. And then policies get written around that make your job harder to do, or put legal ramifications on you that now, whether you're doing your job correctly or not, it might end up in a criminal lawsuit and you could be held liable for that. I can't imagine what that feels like based on somebody's opinion and what they saw and the narrative that ran was something that ultimately impacts you in that way.
Yeah. So people wanting to get rid of qualified immunity for cops, I really, truly believe that some people are just on a Soros-planted political agenda to disrupt our country's stabilization. Because, listen, if you take away qualified immunity from cops, and if anybody doesn't know what that is essentially saying you can't take my house because something went sideways on a call. You call in a burglar, somebody in my house. I think they got a gun. I'm 2 blocks away. I whip it around, and I come in and I come to your front door that's kicked in, but you're coming out to look for the bad guy, and I shoot you. Oh my God. It's the worst thing in the world.
It's horrible.
But it's human. It's human, not nature. It's human error. We're only human. And so that being said, qualified immunity makes it to where you or your family can't ruin my family because I agreed to do the job. Not saying that I don't need to be fired. Not saying that I don't need to face criminal charges. Not saying that those things are all separately. But tying me into the job itself, I took an oath to defend the Constitution and serve the people. And to take that away from, who in their right mind would want to do the job at that point? Like, if you could see, and that's a very extreme example, but there's tons of little examples that I want to sue that cop. Okay, well, you can try and sue the cop. That's not gonna work. You could sue the agency though. The agency might pay you out $10,000 because he went in your pocket when he wasn't supposed to, things like that. And, but at the end of the day, if you can sue me personally and my family's going to get affected by it for the job, you're not going to have people sign up. And the people that do sign up, you're not going to want.